last night. I just noticed that.
Yeah, we did. We got one this morning. Actually, oh, you know what? It was Rapid Port or whatever. It's 555. It's the one who won the initial drawing but wasn't present, and he actually followed later in the night. So I messaged him this morning. Really thankful for that. Oh, Retro Gamer, look at you, so quick, sir. Good to see you. We just barely are getting started. Hey, Phantom, yes, sir. All right. So encouraging to see our friends on quickly.
Phantom's been sitting in there since 4 o'clock.
Oh, golly, before I even got the pre-stream started, the pre-roll?
Yeah, well, he said in Discord that he had come in earlier because he had confused the time with last night's time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. So on Tuesdays, it's 5 Central. On Wednesdays, it's 6 Central. And that's really me accommodating my characters and my players. Hey, Captain Mymorph, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much. And man, I was just blown away.
I just figured Phantom was really enthusiastic and just ready to be here tonight.
Well, he might be. And we did get, so the topic that I'm covering tonight, which, man, I just do not want this in any way, shape, or form to sound like I have this solved. Because as soon as I say that, I'm going to have something screw up tonight with my tech, so it's a total knock on wood. But I just want to share with everybody what I've done, how I run my lighting, my audio, my video, my PC, all the streaming tech, and then I'd love to talk about other old school D&D topics. Hey, Lord Forth, congratulations again on the dice tray. That's going to go out tomorrow, so you'll get it next week. And we're really excited you won that. So tonight should be a fun, kind of interactive session. All right, so I promise not to subject people to this during the normal part of the stream. So I'm going to do it during the pre-stream, if I get this right. Let's see if this works when I switch over. Give you an early shot of Vivi and I, and here we go. And let me kill it. I'm going to restart it here. And close this out, and we can talk over this, so no worries, Evelyn. But just to give everybody again as the pre-roll, I think it's a nice thing to run.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Okay, got it. I know. I got it. No, I know what I'm doing. Boom.
There he is.
You're welcome, Lord Forth. And we're starting here in just 4 minutes. So when this video is done, which really has nothing to do with Loremaster's Arcanum, I just love it. I'm happy about it. So
gotta show off Anna's maps.
Show off Anna's map and the money I spent on this animation, right? So I think it's an issue, like even when I talk about, so some of our sponsors, like I gotta say Dragon Crafting Guild, every trade that I give away, he has given to us. I have spent nothing with John of Dragon Crafting Guild.
I did, because he's awesome.
Yeah, you bought, that's right, you bought from him, that's fantastic. But like all the stuff I give away, he sent to me. Oh, hey Carlos, good to see you, sir. Yeah, there's some cool cloud cover, and then also these little Easter eggs.
Oh, thanks for the follow.
Thanks for the host, Lord Gasumba.
That's what it was.
Yeah, there is something evil in Daraka, but laugh out loud. Remember, there's evil on evil in Greyhawk, so there's nothing that's going to be too terribly expected here in Greyhawk Awakening. And as I mentioned last night, Ulek, the free city of Altamar, all the... Be quiet here. All the battles fought along the coastline from, the area from Pamarj, where the humanoids have been constantly invading, and the heroes, the Order of Ulek, have been defending. then the mercantile districts of the city of Greyhawk, the free city, the nom de guerre of this world. And then lastly, Hamlet, Kron, Lord Mill Hills, woo! And we're timing this just about perfectly. We're going to jump on just a bit early. Huzzah! All right.
I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so welcome everyone. Oh, Castle, thank you very much for the sub. We appreciate that, Carlos. And man, it was so great having a chat with you earlier this week on Jay's. It was Gavin. I think it was our Gavin on Sunday night that we had that discussion. And I really want to hook up with you and have some conversations about your content and getting it into our world. And yeah, Retro Gamer Meth, thank you for being with us. And Dragons in the Dining Room, good evening to you, sir, as well. Thanks for the host, Jay. And we already mentioned Lord Forth, who was the glorious winner of this beautiful dice tray, which will be emailed out, or probably email. I'm not going to email it. Sorry. Long day. That's why I'm in a hat and a t-shirt. Just came back from the gym. I didn't do my normal prep. If I seem disorganized tonight, it's because I frankly am. So this is just how you're going to get the best you can get from me. But we're going to mail this out, old school snail mail, to you tomorrow, Lord Forth, and you should have it next week. And so thank you so much for all the follows. Yeah. Yeah, long day is right, Jay. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. I'm telling you, 2020 has been a long year. I got calls this week from folks on the West Coast, family, and I'm from there originally, and the dust storms, and oh yeah, fine. You need at least one more cataclysmic event in 2020. How could you give it up? We had all kinds of tornadoes here in Nashville that most people have been, absolutely forgotten about, devastated entire communities. But that was pre-COVID and pre all the other things, and I got people that I really admire, from athletes like Kobe Bryant to Christian philosophers like Ravi Zacharias that died this year. These are people that were very close to me. I admired so much of what they did. This has just been a real butt kicker of a year, but that's why I love the escapism of D&D. Oh, hey, good to see you, Leonard. Thank you so much. Krenzlin, good to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, so I've told everybody before on the channel that my roots really go trace back to the late 70s. I love that Jay called me a rookie on the stream this weekend. It made me so happy. And no one's called me a rookie at anything in so long. I took it as the ultimate compliment. But that's fantastic. And so tonight, we're doing well, Leonard. Thank you. And yeah, that's right, Jay. I laughed out loud too when you said that. I can barely stop myself. So tonight we're going to talk about streaming tech. And before I get into this, I'm going to talk about a little bit about terrain and minis, which you're far better off talking to Jay about. I'm going to talk about the streaming tech. You got different folks who use OBS, SLOBS, XSplit, and I don't have enough experience to be an authority on those, but I'll just tell you what I do and what I found works and doesn't work. And I know like others use OBS. I know Jay uses XSplit, and he's kind of talked to me about that, which is fantastic. But we're also going to talk tonight about how I've gotten lots of comments about my lighting. So when it's night outside, boom, it becomes night outside. And it's not showing with my face right now because I got my light here for the stream. But also you haven't even seen yet, like you're in a room with fire and everything goes red, or you're in a necrotic graveyard with green ghosts. I can do all of this with one touch on this cam, and I'm going to show you how I do that tonight. And then we're going to talk about audio. I use Syrinscape for a lot of my ambient sounds, but I'm going to talk about the differences between the Syrinscape local app and then the Syrinscape online, what they call a web slave that they have. Probably they should change that, but that's what they call it. It's a web online thing that you can use and connect with. How I use their Excel spreadsheet work, the Elgato Stream Deck that I have, and just little things that I use, tips and tricks, and also, maybe most importantly, all the places I've screwed up, because I've screwed them all up. I've made so many mistakes. And you'll probably have at least 1 or 2 hitches in the video tonight, which are, they're typically like what I've seen now, they're like a half second, and they don't last long. But they still exist, and I'm still trying to root that gremlin out. But Evelyn, you've kind of watched the evolution, so I want to get your comments. You're an XSplit guy too. Okay, that's good to know. I may make that jump. I've put so much work into this, and I've got, I think, SLOBS as correctly coded as I possibly could. And if it doesn't start acting right in the next couple of weeks, I will probably switch up XSplit. So, but Evelyn, so we have the online stream, which is Greyhawk Awakening, but then we also have the local stream here in the room, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. And I showed some of this last night, but I want to give a quick shout out if I could, and then I want you to sort of respond to your experience with the evolution of Blue Box, because you've been through it all. But I showed a little bit of this last night, but just twisting this main cam here. Look at this incredible work. This is Miniature Building Authority. I don't shout them out too much because they're not a sponsor yet, but we'll see. I'm talking to them. They're great folks. Kirk is awesome. And I got guidance from Jay on a lot of these components and a lot more that are behind me here. And then you can't see too much of it right now because it's covered, but this incredible gaming table, beautiful epoxy finish underneath here. I use this when I have local play. So this is my online gaming table. It extends back over there. So I've got not quite Jay's 8x6, but I got a good, 7x4. But then let me give you my palm there. But then when I have my local gaming group, I have a little table that sits on top of this that my wife made with a Lazy Susan that spins it around. And I have 4 different sides, 2 tables, each 2 sides that I can flip for desert, water, grass, and ice. So a combination of battle maps like the one I use here if I'm on my full gaming table, or those really cool mat tables. So that's kind of physical components of it, and you can see a lot of the stuff behind me here. I've got different folks that have provided things I buy from different places. A lot of Dwarven Forge stuff, a lot of Miniature Building Authority stuff. I got Nerdcraft HQ. I got minis from Atris Minis. A lot of the physical accoutrement here for the show. So the chat's been going. I'm going to look at the chat. But Evelyn, I just like your perspective. And look, you don't blow smoke at me. Hit me with the hard stuff too. Tell me where we've sucked. But what have you seen from, you were first in my, well, saying you were in my basement 4 years ago sounds really bad. I don't mean it like that, but like this is my basement. You were gaming in here with your husband, gaming in here 4 years ago, and you've seen this grow and change so much. Just give me your thoughts on the tech and the tech pieces of it.
Well, I mean, like any machine, it starts off kind of crude and improves over time as you figure out how all the pieces go together and how to properly lubricate all the moving parts. So, I mean, when we started off, I think one of our biggest issues was the audio. We had that one Blue Yeti mic in the middle of the room, and
I still got that. He's banished into my cabinet here. He's not even allowed to come out right now.
And just with everybody, doing different levels of role play and having to try to balance all the different voices and everything with that was not the best, honestly. And I think that was the roughest point for us. But we tried. we pressed through.
And hey, look, we're not even 12 months old. I said, it was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want you to resume. But I was looking through the chat, and last night, as Kiega, I think, had joined us last night, and there was a comment, because we shot over 400, which I'm so happy about. Like, we've gained over 100 followers in less than 30 days. So we have gained 35% of all of our viewers in the last 30 days. So the S curve is kicking in. Lots of thank you to the folks that are on the chat tonight. There's been a big influence from the Annas, the Leonards, the Jays, the Phantoms, the Retros, even Greyhawk Online. Just so many folks that have helped us. I probably left out 7. I shouldn't have. That we're really starting to see the growth of the channel. But when you look back at where we were, you know, we had we came from nothing, and so the Kiega, I think, that joined us last night, he was shocked, or she, I don't know what it was, but either one, or they said, I can't believe you only have 400 viewers. The channel and the stream is so well done, and I was that on one hand was really. It made me feel good. On the other hand, it made me feel like, oh, but we're trying. We're getting there. It's growing. Give us a chance.
Yeah, and you know, all of that.
Oh, Kiega's on, and it's a lady. Yeah! I'm so glad I self-corrected because I wasn't sure. No, thank you. So Kiega, we have literally been online for less than a year, which I know if you're playing Fortnite, you could have 5,000 followers by now. But playing D&D, I think we've done pretty well, and we are really, really appreciative to you and all the new followers and the aforementioned folks that I referenced. So I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Evelyn, talk. I'll be quiet.
But yeah, I mean, like at the beginning, there was all those various parts, just trying to get them to work together like we needed them to. Especially, I remember when we were first sitting down talking about like streaming this, figuring out what to use to stream it. And how to actually stream multiple cameras at once, because I think that was one of the biggest conversations, and Steve was such a help with that, because I had done a little bit of video gaming streaming myself, but like doing multiple camera sources through something and making them work and making them be able to consistently stream without having stuttering and everything was just a task in and of itself. And that was a huge initial thing to figure out just to get started.
No, you're so right. And then, of course, everything got tougher with COVID because when we had COVID, so we had previously, for all of our viewers that have watched us for a while, everything was local around the tabletop. That's how we started, local gaming that we just started streaming. And that was pretty easy. The stuff that we're doing with Greyhawk Awakening and I think some of our new streams where everything is remote except me, that's also pretty easy. The tough thing is the combination. So I had folks that were here and getting the ambient audio so it's not interfering. I set up mics. I've got this. Let me bring this up here on the screen. You can't. I can't zoom some of these things because they're really interesting, sort of old school apps. But if you can I can't do anything to make that bigger. But if you look, kind of zoom it on your phone. I'm using an XSplit. This is a professional mixer that I have here. It's taking all the inputs of audio from different sources. It balances them, and I haven't really gotten into it too much yet, but I actually can create special effects, haunting sounds and echoes from hallways. So you're going to see a lot of that. But I think I want to just go ahead and start off with talking about the tech that I use basically, including the cameras and then the different audio tech points. And then I want you, Evelyn, and all of our viewers kind of guide me into the things that you'd like to know about. Does that sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Anything else you want to say before I jump into this?
No, I can't think of anything else really. I think we've covered kind of the main where we came from.
So you see my default is always Anna's maps. I just love having those in the background. I don't know what that's about right now, but I just love it up there. All right, so let's talk cameras. At Blue Box, we're using 4 4K, actually no, probably 3 4K cameras and 1 1080p cam. So we have 3 of these guys. Probably 2 of these guys rather. These are the Logitech Brios. These are 4K cams, and I'm just using sort of a tripod anchor things that are arms that I got off of Amazon, and I use these if I'm running my Greyhawk Awakening campaign. This is my ultra wide cam shot. So when I was giving you the shot of the moat house last night. And that whole sort of wider angle, that was coming off of this camera. So I have 2 of those, including the one that you're looking at now. Then I have a third Logitech cam, which is off the table right now. Let me find where he's at. He's way over there. But it's a 1080p Logitech. It's the 922, I believe it is. And then lastly...
That's the one I use right here, right now.
You got the 922, so that's a 1080p. And then lastly, on CamTech, I have the DSLR over there, he's sitting right above the chair. That's a Canon DSLR. That's running 4K. And, oh, good, Phantom. And with that guy, I'm running an Elgato capture card. So I have a small Elgato capture card. And if anybody has any questions on this, you can DM me or message me on Whisper. I'll give you the info. But it's a small card. I think they have the HD60, which is a bigger one. I've got the smaller capture card from Elgato, and that takes the HDMI output from that DSLR and pushes it through the USB 3.0. Now, this is where video got really tricky for me. And I hope
I remember this.
Yeah, I hope this is helping somebody, but probably everybody's got figured out, and it means something to me. But so I have a CyberPower PC, and in fact, I could bring up the specs on the screen. Maybe I'll do that in a second. But you know, it's nothing extraordinary. It's got a decent CPU. It's a 2019 CPU. I think it's a Core 7 Intel chip. But the big thing, there were really two main upgrades I needed to make. It came initially with 16 gigs of RAM, and it had 4 USB ports on the back, 2 of which were 3.0, 2 of which were 2.1, I forget what, and then 2 on the top, which were the 2.0. And I was connecting these multiple cams and trying to stream, and it was freezing up. It was sucking every single week. And the weird thing about it was, Evelyn, you remember this, it would trick me.
Yep.
I'd get it to work 1 week. Mm-hmm. I could literally move the inputs from one USB port to the other, and I'd be like, oh, I got it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Nobody sneezed.
Yeah, no one sneezed. No one moved. Yeah, like that old, with the antenna, like just hold your hand like this, right? Like it would work, and then boom, the next time I'd stream, things would freeze, things would lock up. So I made 2 principal upgrades to my PC, and they were not that expensive. The first was RAM. I've got DDR4 RAM in here. I bought, I think 3 16 gig RAM chips from Amazon of DDR4. So I've got 64 gigs of RAM now on this machine, and that made a huge difference. I didn't have to upgrade my video card, which is nothing special, it's okay. My CPU is nothing special, it's okay, but that RAM made a huge difference. And then secondly, and look, anybody that's into PCs, you know this already, like the RAM is huge. But the second thing was I bought a PCIe 3.0 USB card. So I took my existing 6 USB ports, which should have been enough, but I put in 4 more 3.0 USB ports on a PC. I had one last PCIe port on my card. I popped that sucker in, and that allowed me to run all these multiple cams. That card was like, I don't know, $60, something like that. It's not that expensive, but it made all the difference in the world. So just again in summary, and I'm sorry, Evelyn, like I feel like this is one you have not been as intimate with, but I'll give you a second to respond if you want to talk about PCIe cards and RAM. But I really struggled to get this to work until I tripled, almost quadrupled the RAM that I had in my machine, and then I added that PCIe USB port so I could get all these different 4K webcams simultaneously. So that's kind of step one, the video, having the RAM, and the USB 3.0 inputs for all the high-speed video transfer. So I'll pause there. Evelyn,
Right.
anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, it was a very much a notable difference between the beginning where we would be constantly kind of, as we were trying to do stuff.
I
At
think
times
it was.
it could be,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was.
at times it really could be. And then actually having a consistently, smooth video stream was such a big improvement at the very beginning. Just being able to sit and watch, the stream without having as much stuttering was a very nice thing.
Yeah,
and
we did.
It's amazing how much power it requires to be able to run 4 cameras simultaneously. You think, oh well, they're cameras, whatever, but it really does take a lot to be able to do that.
No, and you're exactly right. And I'm doing some other stupid stuff here. So people may be saying, oh, I'm running 3 or 4 cameras is not an issue, but I'm also running 3 to 4 monitors. So
Right.
I've got a monitor right here below the camera here. I've got a 24-inch monitor right here. And then I've got another 4K 24-inch monitor up there. So when I'm showing you, for example, what you see on the screen, yeah, it's a lot of data. That's exactly right. So what you're seeing right now, that's an Elgato Stream Deck screen. And again, I can't, these are sort of onboard local apps. I can't, make them bigger. So I'm sorry that's so small. Hopefully you have a screen, you can see it or you can zoom in on it. But that's up on a screen above me here. So I've got 3 monitors, 2 4K, 1 1080p. I've got 4 cams, 3 4K, 1 1080p. And so as much as that sounds like, all it needed was the RAM and the PCIe Express card for the extra USB ports, and everything worked pretty darn well. And Jay has 8 3.0s, Alienware. Yeah, okay, Jay, way to flex. I'm using a CyberPower PC here. So now you've dropped another gauntlet. I've got the MBA stuff behind me. Now I'm going to have to go get an Alienware PC. Shh, just don't tell my wife. No, that's fantastic. Okay, yeah, so the 15, we're going to get to Stream Decks in a second. Yeah, too many competing priorities. That's so true. So let's talk, so we talked about video, and that's how I got all the video stuff to work, and I'm actually going to upgrade my 922 to a 3rd Brio, so I can get my battle cam even looking better. And yeah, I learned everything by screwing up, and I screwed up over and over and over again. I had so many streams, and as any of you DMs out there that are streaming on these channels would appreciate, and Evelyn, she witnessed it. You prep, right? You've got the game part of it, right? You've got all the study, or if you're Phantom, you just wing everything because you're a savant, right? But whether you're a savant and you're just doing sort of your ad hoc, or whether you're a preparer as a DM, you put something into prepping the game. Then you've got your minis and getting all your stuff set out, and your terrain if you're doing that, or if you're Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, you've got all that digital stuff that you have to do, and then your dice trays and making sure the players have all their character information. And so it's just so many components, and then you got to launch your SLOBS or your XSplit or your OBS. Make sure you've updated your streaming. I'm sorry, do I sound like I'm whining? I sound like I'm whining. I know I do. All right, I'll stop. My point is, you have all of that, and then you've got to remember the tech part of it and getting all the tech right, and it can be a pain in the butt. So that's why
checklist before every stream. I
do. So I have a Trello board. I should have actually put that. Actually, I can. So I have a Trello board, and everybody can use their own stuff. This is just what works for me, and I'm just going to show all my secrets tonight. So here's my here's my Trello board. I have different elements from all my different campaigns, but this is my stream setup Trello board. So the tech components that I have, and I'll go on before I stream, and I'll move these cards over to done. I don't think there's anything not suitable for work here. And then I'll do all my DM prep, my pre-stream prep, all of that. I'll move them over so I don't forget anything, as I have all of these different things that I'm trying to remember when I do my pre-stream work before I DM a campaign. So I'll pause there. Kanban. What's Kanban, Phantom? I don't know what that is. Oh, hey, Bloodwild. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know. I didn't know if this would be interesting to anybody. I'm sure other people have better methods. This is just what I found that works for me as I've tried to cobble this together. Thanks, Abyssal. I'm just a Gen X old school DM, but I love tech, and so that's my vision, is the fusion of the OG, or what I call original geek, DMing and fun, and then using the new school tech. And I like tinkering, so it's cathartic for me to come down here and fight with the technology and bend it to my will.
Gotta wrangle the goblins before you wrangle the cats.
That's exactly right. Okay, Trello is pretty much Kanban. I did not know that. All right, that's good. Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk now. We talked about video. We talked about basic PC components. You don't need Jay's Alienware, but it's awesome to have if you have it. And I'm not throwing shade, Jay. I'll probably have one here pretty quick, but you don't need that. But you do need plenty of USB 3.0 ports, and you need lots of RAM. Those are going to be your main things. A halfway decent graphics card, and you can get all that video stuff working. All right, let's talk audio.
Yeah.
And I think audio, exactly. So audio is, I think, one of the great differentiators for our campaign. And the challenge with audio, of course, is there's great sources out there. So I'm going to bring back up, one of the easy things you can do. And I want to shout this person out again. Adrian von Ziegler, I use some of his stuff a lot in my backgrounds. This is free, and I'm sure there are others. But I found this one. I searched for Celtic, sort of free use or no licensing audio. He's got a few hours of this. There are barely any commercials that play in this. Oh, hey, Oreo Noir. You've only missed a little bit. Just me babbling. Yeah. Nothing too much.
We've been going about 23 minutes, so
yeah. 23 minutes, will mostly be babbling. So this one, it's got really great audio. Let me go full screen here. I can do that one. And he's got 2 of these. And I'll turn it up just a bit. YouTube is really loud when I play it on my system, so I usually keep it quite low. And this stuff is free use. It doesn't trigger any of the filters on YouTube. And I just like this. I mainly use it on my pre-stream. Because when I'm actually in stream, I'm orchestrating a lot of the content from Syrinscape, which I'm going to get to Syrinscape in a second. But what I use for my pre-stream stuff, and then I'll occasionally, like yesterday, I had as the party was approaching the moat house, the old Hamlet Greyhawk moat house on the way to Nob, if you were headed to the old Temple of Elemental Evil, but we're in, roughly common year 622 in that campaign. So it's advanced quite a bit. But as we were headed to the moat house, I had this cool Syrinscape sound set, which has birds. In fact, I'll go ahead and kick it off here. It's good, but the birds get loud. And as you're listening to them over time, I think they almost get a bit annoying. And actually, this is actually a really good thing for me to show because the birds aren't playing. Why? Because every once in a while, I have to relaunch that Syrinscape app, which I'm going to do now. So, sound. If you've used Syrinscape, you're probably familiar with this desktop app. Which has also crashed. Okay, let me relaunch it. 1 second. See, I'm so glad this happened.
When we're talking about tech debugging, we gotta debug some tech.
Yeah, that's right. I used to, with demos, I'm so glad it happened. Let me show you how to fix this. So this is the Syrinscape native app. And many of you are probably familiar with this. I've got the full license to this. I pay my monthly fee. I have all of their stuff unlocked. I haven't downloaded everything because I don't use the actual local app very often anymore. But if you're familiar with this, you can kick off all your sound sets here. So if the crowd gasps, or if you have a huzzah, or there's a spell that's cast, you can do all that fun stuff, which I definitely use. But the problem with this is, it's really
tree bards.
I have the tree bard one. Yes, I do. Okay, so Phantom, you have this, but if you're looking to integrate with your game, and this is, I think, where I'm really getting into some of the. I'm not saying everything I did before wasn't valuable, but let me just get into I think it will really be helpful to you. So the problem with this is you have all these sound sets. Navigating through this is a pain in the butt. And if you're somebody that has one of these guys, the Elgato Stream Deck, right? You can't, or at least if you can, there's no really functional and easy way to do it, control the Syrinscape local app. You have some system commands you can use, but I promise you it's not as efficient or as easy to do for the one-man band DM. So how I use all of this stuff is I have these different Syrinscape sound sets plugged in not to this app, because this app won't communicate efficiently with this. I have them plugged in to this web, I'm not going to use the phrase they use again right now, but it's the web online player. I'm going to drag it up so everybody can see it on that monitor. 1 second here. So this guy, if you haven't seen this before, you need to get to understand him. If you have a Syrinscape license, you have access to this online web player, and they call it a master-slave configuration. I'm not using that in any sort of, I don't mean it in any other way than just what they call it. But it's a master-slave configuration, so this connects to their web servers. And you can program this Stream Deck to kick off those sounds. So instead of going through the application, like you might have noticed, we have subtle sound changes when somebody opens a door. When somebody opens a stone secret door. And I'll show you how I'm doing this in a second. When there is thunder on the horizon. So this makes it easy for a DM, because I don't want to be consumed with the tech. I want the tech to serve me. I don't want to serve the tech, right? So I get all this stuff preset. I go through some of the sounds, I get them all configured, and the Elgato, I've got the bigger one here. There's a 15 key, and there's this, like a 20 whatever key it is. And you can set up different menus. So if I come back here, let me hide the Syrinscape screen. You can see it mirrors up there. If I go into a folder, like let's say here, for example, this is my sound effects folder. You can see all those popping up. Oh, yeah, sorry, I can't hold back my joy. I'm Gen X. I love D&D and I love tech. I'm a geek, so this stuff gets me excited. And then, you know, if there is a dragon. He's not done. Nope, not done yet. You're not scared, I am. So all these sounds are configured here through the web player. Now, an eternal tinker with computer stuff is concerned. It finally give us an end state. Yeah, there's no end state. There is no end state. This is a lifestyle. So let me show you how this is working. And if you already know this, I don't want anything I'm saying here to sound like, oh, I am so smart and I know everything that I'm doing and you should learn from me. I'm just trying to tell you the things I've tinkered with and kind of figured out on my own. If you guys have things that you're doing that can make my stuff better, please tell me. This is just me trying to share things because I love the community, I love old school gaming, and I love the ambient effect of role play. I wish I could have had this stuff when I was a 12-year-old kid playing the game and touch a button and have a dragon roar. I would have made every kid in the room pee his pants. Oh, hey, Daedra! Good to see Daedra! It's good to see you, man. It's going really well. All right, so here's the magic. If you go on to Syrinscape, and you have to be a subscriber.
Mixtape.
Yeah, exactly. We had a mixtape, exactly. If you're a subscriber, you can download one of these spreadsheets. And if you can see this spreadsheet, I've hidden a couple of the columns because I have concatenated, and I'll click a cell so you can see what I mean. Here's the Syrinscape, the different sound sets, and there are like 25,000 rows in this spreadsheet. But fortunately, you can search it. So if you see, you can just scroll down and down and down. Let me grab the bar here. Just, you know, they have thousands upon thousands of sound sets. Some of them are moods, some of them are elements. So a mood will contain multiple sound components. So let's come to one here. Let's look at this one. So this is Rise of the Herald. If you choose something like the Abandoned Factory, which is a mood, it's going to contain multiple elements from these different sound sets here. And all you need to do is take the cell, and you can see if you can read this up here. If you can't, I'll highlight it. But what it says is concatenate. So I'm concatenating, or I'm adding the Syrinscape sound set, and then I'm taking my code. So my security or my sort of authentication or ID code, I'm concatenating that into this column. I've hidden it so no one's stealing my code. Not that any of you would, right? I'm just saying that Syrinscape probably wouldn't like me putting my code up there on the web. But so I concatenate that code here, and I can take any of those different sounds. All I do is take them from this Excel spreadsheet. Then I go back to my Stream Deck. So let me pick one here. Let's show you how this works. I don't know what these sound like. How about Secret Workroom and Dungeon? That might be fun. So I'm going to right-click that. I'm going to copy the secret, and I'm going to make sure this doesn't show my code when I do it. I don't think it should. Then I'm going to pop back up the Stream Deck here. And let me go back up to one I know has a little more room. I believe this Magic and Sounds 2 does. And then over here on Syrinscape, if you can see this right side, you have mixer controls, you have OBS, you have Streamlabs OBS. Yes, you do have XSplit. I think Jay uses the XSplit controls on Elgato Stream Deck. Also YouTube, also Philips Hue, which we're going to talk about in a second when I get to lighting. That'll be one of the last things I talk about tonight. But under System, you have websites. So you can launch local applications. The Dragon sound I played, for example, is not Syrinscape. That's a local MP3 file I have that kicks off from this guy. By the way, when the Norm's over here, Secret Dungeons and Juris Quest. That's exactly right, Orion Noir. Or Orion Noir, sorry. I keep thinking of both ways, but I got it right the first time. I remember you told me that, Orion Noir. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the website icon here. I'm going to drag it over here. And then on the title, I forget that was. We'll just call it Loremaster's Arcanum
the workshop
test. Yeah.
and something.
That's right. But let's call it the LMA test. I'm going to paste that, and you can't see my whole code. All you get is the last 5, which won't do you any good. And then you have to say access in the background. If you don't click that button, it's actually going to go ahead and launch a website when you click this. So you have to make sure you say access in background. Now, when I come to my set here, let's all hear together what that secret dungeon workerman dungeon sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's see if we like it. Let's see if we like it again. There we go. Ooh.
It's actually a pretty solid sound.
I like that. It is very secret.
Very secret.
Don't get smart with me, Phantom. It's a subtle sound set. Ooh, I like this one actually. See where it goes.
Cool.
I'm glad I don't know how I missed this one before. I'm going to use this one.
Good.
I like this. Yeah, this is a very usable one, right? So it's that simple. Now, here is the magic. And I got to be quick because I want to make sure we're ready to finish up in time. And we're going to raid Jay here in just a second. Here is the problem with the web player. Guess what the one thing... There it was. Yeah, it's very subtle. It was really quiet early on. This is a very subtle sound set, but it is working, and it sounds good in the room here, but I got my speakers up. So let me kill that one. Ooh, now the music kicks in. Ooh, I really like this one. Yay! You're going to hear this on a stream near you soon on Blue Box. All right, so let me kill that. Here's the trick, and this was a pain in the butt. You can't stop the sound sets with any of the automated commands that they have here. So once that music is playing, it plays till it finishes. If it's a loop, it's going to keep going. You have to create a stop command. And, yeah, thank you, Jay. Now, here's the key. And look, I realize probably 95% of my audience won't give a crap about this. But if you want to do this, the way you make this work, on every one of my Stream Deck, I'm probably going to unplug this thing, moving it. You can almost see. So right here, you can't see it. Anyway, it's a stop command. I'll bring it back up on the deck here itself. This stop command is how I am able to kill every sound set I have. So I can have ambient music, I can have thunder playing, I can have the charm spell being cast, I can have the flute being played by Irda, and then all I do is hit this stop button, and it's a batch script. Yeah, I'm sorry. This was it's actually a little bit of coding. It's a SQL script. A simple batch script. It's a PowerShell command, pardon me. It's a PowerShell command. It's not very long. It's about 12 to 15 lines. All you have to do is save it to your local device. And then if you look here, you can see, I don't know if you can read that. Again, I cannot make that larger, I'm sorry. But if you can read what I'm highlighting, that's an access to a local file, C scripts all stop bat. It's a batch file. It kicks off a PowerShell command, and it sends the command back to Syrinscape to kill all audio. So that's how I do a lot of this boom, 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 keep it, flexible and light. I don't want my players to ever feel like I'm so distracted by running music and lighting that they're not feeling like they're immersed. So for me, my whole goal as a DM, and again, Evelyn, I'm sorry. I know. I feel so like you're doing a great job here. But it's like,
Yeah.
I know you've seen this stuff, but like so anyway, my whole goal as a DM is to make sure that everything I do is quick and light and easy, so my players get the enjoyment and the immersion, but they never feel like I, as a DM, am distracted. Wait, where's my button? Where's that? Let me kick off this sound. Let me kick off that lighting effect. I want these to be one-touch items. So I'm going to stop there.
Well, and the only time that we really noticed it being weird was the day that it didn't want to play on time. Like, it was firing late, and suddenly it was like, I cast that spell 3 minutes ago. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly, and that was the one time. So, and I blame myself because I'm an internalist. So anytime something goes wrong, I normally think it's me that screwed up. But it was actually a day that Syrinscape was having an issue with their online web player. So I had to go back to the local desktop app. And that was distracting because I'm looking over, I'm finding the sound set, I'm clicking the button. So,
but, I mean, that's the nice thing about it is because we have all these little extra bits of flavor that is tied to it, and you don't really notice it until it doesn't happen when it's supposed to happen, because you're able to cue those things as part of it and still follow along with everything. So, you know, that it makes a big difference when the technology is working for you, not against you.
No, you're dead on, and I felt like we should enjoy this conversation in a marketplace. So to Orion Noir, this is the Elgato Stream Deck. There are two versions of this. There's a smaller one. This is the XL. They're like $199 or $250 or something. You know, they're not cheap, but they're not crazy expensive. And then the batch script to the question from Phantom, I cannot claim that I wrote that script myself. I am not a PowerShell scripter. I manage, so what I do at work, I have a company that I run. I have a lead of my software development team. I showed him my problem, and he whipped up this batch script in like 15 minutes. I will share it with anybody that wants it. So all you have to do is send me a whisper or hit me up on IG, on Blue Box RPG Instagram, and I'll send you the information on that batch script. All you have to do is put it on your local machine, and it works like a charm. God, did I sound like that again? I so don't want to sound like that guy.
To be fair, that guy is also in 2 of your campaigns.
That's right.
So
Yeah, thank you.
It works in his favor a little bit to, you know, be willing to help.
No, that's right. No, not minions, players that want to survive the next weeks of campaign. So actually, one of my campaigns, my 4th age campaign for Lord of the Rings, it's mostly the development team. They play with me on Saturdays. In fact, that team is playing this Saturday. So if you want to say hello and see that dev group, Saturday at 2 o'clock Central. I call it monthly, but we really play probably 7-8 times a year. But we're on 4 years now, and that campaign is getting close. It's a Lord of the Rings 4th age campaign, and that team will be playing with us Saturday at 2 o'clock, and you can say hi to him. So your players just bring you food. My players bring food, and they leave like, I don't even know what this is. Some kind of random alcohol, like a black milk. This has been sitting down here for like over a year. This was Matt, Evelyn. He left this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's exactly who that was.
All right, so that's the Elgato Stream Deck. That's how I run my sound sets. And again, you can just see, you can name almost any sound you want to hear, and I can do it almost instantly with very detect magic. Oh, including a follow from April Lynchen. Thank you very much. Or since I did,
well-time follow.
Yeah, exactly. That was the best time follow ever. And then so I'll bring up a campfire. So the party is camping at night. It's just so fun and easy to kick off these simple sound sets. And they do add ambience to the game. They should never be a replacement for the DM's narratives.
Nope. It is the seasoning to the story, and not the other way around.
Exactly. So I don't want happy DM, living party, grumpy DM, roll for initiative. So like even with my terrain, and I have to watch myself. It's a temptation. Here's what you see. No, 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 no. Here's what you hear. No, 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 no. I want to give you the theater of mind description. I want to still DM and give that narrative, and then I want the lighting, the terrain, the sound to be the ambient, or I think you said seasoning, Evelyn.
Yes.
I like that. A little touch of like Gimbel's salt and pepper on the eggs, right?
Exactly.
To be the seasoning to what I do, not the replacement for the DM responsibility. Okay. Have you had more than one Elgato? Does size matter? So I thank you. I've only had the one, but I actually helped troubleshoot. I had a friend, actually the friend that helped me with that crazy, ridiculous mixer I have over there, which really nobody. Oh yeah, lapel mics. I use lapel mics.
Oh yeah.
But these don't make sense if you're just doing remote streaming. I have these because when I have 5-6 players in the room, like on Sunday, I'll have 6 players in the room. And I mic them
4 Sunday, 6 on Saturday.
I'm sorry, I meant Saturday. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, on Saturday I'll have
we got a lot of D&D coming up.
Too many D&D things coming up. On Saturday, the 6 players in the room, each of them will be mic'd up with the lapels, so I don't get crosstalk and they're all heard well. And I have some that are quieter than others. Like I'm always the loudest. Yeah, you're good, but you sound great, but you're usually a little bit quiet. So I like each one of them having a lapel mic. But that mixer really helps me. But it's not necessary unless you're running, lots of people in a local game with a heavy concern on audio and separating your ambient sound. Not knock those on the floor. Your ambient sound speakers from your headphones and all that kind of stuff. Too many pish posh. There is such thing. This is why I have problems staying engaged. Virtual tabletops. Yeah, Greyhawk. These lapel mics. Like, okay, this one. Again, I say not that expensive. I got this 8 mic mixer set on Amazon. I think it was like 200 and something bucks. The whole set, the mixer, all 8 lapel mics, the heads, everything. So this stuff does not have to be Alienware expensive. You can get some pretty cool tech at a reasonable price and make use of it. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right, great. Thank you, Oran. All right, so now let me close with, I think I beat the audio stuff to death. Let me close with lighting. So you saw this earlier. I'm using a Philips Hue lighting system. If you have not seen Philips Hue, you have to get a few different components to it, but you have an app like this. These are all the different lighting sets I have in my room. Let me go back out to the main set. Here are my different rooms that I have on the Philips Hue, but I don't use the phone when I'm running my games because I don't want to pull out my phone and go to the room. So what do I use again? My trusty Elgato Stream Deck. So you saw earlier here, you have the ability to pull up, golly, I should get a sponsorship from Elgato. What am I doing? All this free advertisement.
We love your stuff.
Yeah, we love your stuff. We're going to do it for free. That's fine. It's the old Zig Ziglar thing. You can get what you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. I'm not trying to hold back anything I do here. Many of you probably have better stuff. I just want to get it out there and help anybody in the community that wants to enjoy and play D&D and maybe do some streaming stuff. And you like a couple of the things that we do here and think they're cool. All right, so all you do to make this work is you go here to Philips Hue. It's a drop down on the Stream Deck. This is not, so the only thing I've done here that's special is that batch code, which I didn't do, right? My minion did it, but he's not my minion. He would kick my butt if I said that. He's a great guy. But I'll share that with anybody that wants it. But everything else is already programmed into the Stream Deck. So all you have to do is take this scene button here. Well, I don't have anything open on this. Let me go to an open area here. Take this scene button, drag it over, and then you can tell it the bridge that you have. I have just one bridge, the room that you want, so the game room, and then the scene that you want. And so let me pull it back up here so you can see that. So that scene, I have all these different scenes. I've got bright, night, relaxation, town streets, red, night lights, live stream. That's my basic lighting setting that you're seeing here. Quite enlightening, dork. Thank you, Theater Evie. And then so all you do is you pick the settings, and now you saw I got some great shots. So last night, and I haven't adjusted. One thing you have to do, golly, I forget things. So one thing you have to do with your cams, if you have Logitech cams and you want to do something like, and it's probably not going to work that well right now because I haven't done it, but if you want to kick off the night scene, you see what the Logitech just did? It just compensated.
White balances.
It auto white balances. It compensates. So you have to go into your cameras, which I did not do tonight, and you disable the auto white balance. You choose your white balance, and you disable the low light compensation, and then you get this beautiful blue that the room should be. You'll see it briefly here. I go back to live stream, and then you'll see real quick, right before it fixes it, that color right there, that's what it's supposed to stay, but my camera is fixing it. So all you do is you go in and you disable your auto white balancing, and the cameras won't overcompensate for your lighting changes. So I've got in here, I've got 3 bulbs on the ceiling and 2 bulbs over there. You know, so they're not cheap. I think they're 30, 40 bucks a pop for the bulb. So, you know, it's a bit of an investment, but you get that Stream Deck, you get those lights up there, and you can set whatever you want. Maybe the green won't overcompensate. So if they're in a, that looks really good. I don't know why that's not confident. It's not. So, you know, they're in a graveyard and you have whites and rays that come out from behind the mausoleum. You can do these really cool lighting effects, and there's nothing to it. I'm not being distracted as a DM by just hitting a button that easily and saying nope, and then kicking off a disturbing sound. Oh, wait. You see something from behind the mausoleum. A verdant hand glowing in green with long fingernails grips the edge of the mausoleum wall. You see a face slowly begin to appear, cheek riven, eye dangling from its socket. Right? So just fun that you can do all this stuff with the lighting and the sound and barely distract yourself as a DM. So that's, all right, so I'm done. We're going to get set up here to Ray J. I'm going to let Evelyn talk because I have just bloviated for the last 50 minutes. But Retro Gamer was gripping. Oh, thanks,
yes,
Triple H.
That is followed by Roll for Initiative and Marthalia casting Turn Undead.
Roll for Initiative, right? No, like, I love that. When as a DM, you don't even have to tell the party. They just know it's time to roll for initiative. Right? So, no, thank you for that. I appreciate the... I get comments about that sometimes, and it means a lot. I mean, I think that the reason people sometimes say that is that this is not an affectation. This is not disingenuous. I love the game. I love what I'm doing. This is a passion for me, and I am just so excited to be part of this great, like, the D&D community for me. It's escapism, it's creativity, it's fun, and I think it's such a release from so much of the darkness around us. It's a place where we build bridges, we tell stories together. And all I wanted to do tonight was just share a few of the tips. You know, again, some probably not the best. Some you might have better ways or better tools or better systems. This was in no way, again, meant to be a look at how great what I do is, but just sharing what I do. And I'm very thankful to the community and everybody that's followed us. 20-sided die clutch in their hands. So now I gotta say, oh no, don't sell the arcade machines, Retro. I want, okay. So last thing I'll say here, and we're gonna get set up to Raid J. Can anyone guess? You'll never guess. You'll never guess. My favorite old school arcade game. It's not D&D based. I'll tell you that. It's not. So if you were guessing like Gauntlet, remember Gauntlet? That was fun. It's not Gauntlet. I'll give you a hint. It had a different control system, not Rampage, although I loved the Rampage comment last night with Brim as he was climbing that wall. That was so much fun. No, I'll give you a hint. Asteroids, you're closer, Lord Forth. It was Star Wars. You got it. So it was the old. So it was Retro Gamer. It was the old Star Wars. In fact, my favorite was when you would sit down in it. It had a canopy that came over the top. It was vector graphics. Use the Force, Luke. And you had the first. You would hit the TIE fighters, and then you'd go down on the Death Star, and you'd knock out the tops of the towers. All these vector graphics, the white tops, and then you'd go down in the channel, and you'd have to dodge and go up and down. Man, I burnt so many quarters and so many hours on that. I want to get one of those. I've told my wife, she has not picked up on the hint yet. That would be a great birthday present somewhere. I don't know where we'd put it. We have no room. But I'd love to have one of those old console-based Star Wars vector graphics games. All right, so you have what? Oh, you had it in your frat house. Yeah, exactly. I spent a ton of money on that thing too. Centipede was a blast. I'll tell you the one that actually this is as close to NSFW as you get. The one that pissed me off the most was Dragon's Lair. Oh my gosh, that cartoon, like, it was mesmerizing back in the 80s because you'd never seen anything like that. The graphics looked incredible, but it was boom, 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 dead, boom, 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 dead. So I think I want to buy Dragon's Lair just to have it here and beat it in my room. It was a weak game. All right, so any final questions? Or Evelyn, thank you so much for being a good sport tonight as I was just rambling about my geekery. Anything else you'd like to say before we close out?
I mean, I would say if you have players playing remotely like we do on Tuesdays, encourage them to get a really good solid headset with a good microphone, because it makes all the difference, being able to hear not only what's going on his end, but him being able to hear us and being able to have a good quality sound coming back to you. I also use a green screen behind me so that you don't see the craziness that is my house with a 3-year-old. So yeah, there are little things like that for when you're doing remote stuff to think about the lighting and sound and stuff for the players so that they can hear and be seen properly.
No, that's right. And if you're with us, please don't leave, because I want to have the best raid for Jay. So if you're going to jump for Jay's show, just hang on. I'm going to have you in there in just a second. But absolutely. And I have a quick question for the viewers before I raid Jay. Oh, hey, thank you very much for the follow. Glitched in Gray. That's funny. I have a little RV outside. I'm going to name Vandolph the Gray.
We use Zoom for our where we kind of all connect for our streams.
We use Zoom, and that's for the moment. I'm still looking at other... Hello? Oops, I just minimized my... That's amazing how I minimized Zoom right as I said we use Zoom. I did not do that on purpose. We're evaluating some other things, tools like live stream, also Vorpal board. I'm a beta on Vorpal board. I'm testing that. Yeah, scene change. All right, so last question. Do you still get lost in this? How do you raid? No, raid is really easy. You just do that on your creator dashboard on Twitch. So before I raid Jay, last question, she brought up green screens. And I've really been debating this as a DM. And normally I like to wear geekier shirts. But again, I came right from outside. That's why I look like a schlep tonight. But am I better off having my sort of stuff in the background, my paints and my minis and my terrain, or would you rather see a green screen with a nice sort of dungeon or tavern or some other sort of cool setup? I've got actually a green screen out there. I haven't even opened the box yet because I don't know if I should do that or just keep it more raw like this. And I'm curious.
I personally like the mini and the minis and the terrain in the background personally.
Okay. Well, apparently I'm watching it. It's instant Greek cred. Background is to okay. All right. Well, it's shut down. I'm sending the green screen back to Amazon. Sorry, I don't return much of their stuff. Okay. Well, your DM, you need your stuff showing. Okay. All right. Then there is no green screen coming. I've been absolutely. The people have spoken with an authoritative voice. All right. Oh golly, what am I doing? Sorry, I just moved your video and mine. All right. So this is me showing you how great I am with tech. All right. So let me go ahead and kick off the raid. Thanks everybody for watching us. Remember, we're going to be back live Saturday. Now, that's a rare one. It's once every couple of months at Saturday at 2, but it's getting to the end of the campaign. And this is Lord of the Rings 4th Age. It's kind of epic level stuff. Melkor, Morgoth. It makes Sauron look like a tiny little minion. This is big stuff. There is some fun things. Then our regular streams are Sunday at 1:30 Central. That's our Rune Lords campaign. That's been going on for almost a year now. That's a really fun one. Evelyn plays Irda in that campaign. And then, of course, our great new campaign on Tuesdays, which so many of you are part of, Greyhawk Awakening. That'll be back on Tuesday night at 5 o'clock Central. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Bye,
and
guys.
We're going to raid Lord Gasumba. This is Blue Box signing off with much love and appreciation. 3, 7, 6. Always anticlimactic. I say that, but give me a 10-second countdown. 2, 1.
Always forget about the countdown.
Right now. There, it's done. All right. So let's see. How many did we raid with? 21. Not bad.
Nice.
21.